Aloha Global Fam, Unity Grace here, checking in to share some insights that may be helpful. So, this miracles topic is about more about dissolving polarities within us. And I'm going to do a little dance through the gene keys to make it simple and simplify it, and to, hi Andrew, to assist people to continue to have the understanding of why we want to do this, why we want to still the mind, why we want to dissolve the polarities, and simple ways how to do it. So I refer to this as Flight Lessons 101, and am currently surrounded by an amazing team of beings, Harmony Bell and Elawan and Ruthie Joy and Freedom and Sandalphon and Becca, who are helping me to bring this into a container so it's easy and accessible. Flight Lessons 101, easy, accessible ways to still the mind, to balance the polarities of the brain so that we can come into a whole brain state and we can be the supernatural beings we were meant to be. All the higher aspects of the self begin to come in when we master the stilling of the brain, the hemispheres of the brain. And when we still the hemispheres of the brain, then the body starts to come into alignment. Everything, all of the systems start to work together so that we feel peace. We feel that inner stillness, which of course all the teachings have always taught us how to get there, meditation and all kinds of things to do it, and why we want to do it now more than ever, because we continue to be in these accelerated phases. So we've learned acceleration for a long time. You know, a long time ago we started to get over yearning for the setting in of the pace of the new normal, and we realized there is new normal that we are continuing to accelerate faster and faster because we are on the cutting edge of metamorphosis. So how do we support ourselves to be comfortable in this process? And I often share the simple technique for whole brain state: crossing the ankles, crossing the wrist, clasping the hands together, closing the eyes, and deep breathing. And what this does is it brings both hemispheres of the body into alignment so that we don't have that Mickey Mouse mind going on up there back and forth, and polarities, conversations, arguments in the brain of polarized thinking going on. So it's super important. Many ways to come into a whole brain state. I love yoga and deep breath, and crossovers of any kind, or anything that gets both sides of the body working alternately. So another really great way to do it is just arms across the chest and butterfly tapping alternately with your hands, one side then the other, one side then the other, eyes closed. So if you're experiencing stress and anxiety, which you know we do as humans, and particularly as humanity is going through quantum leaps, we tend to experience it more because the collective is experiencing it, just like the caterpillar might be feeling some stress inside the cocoon, having not the full understanding of what is occurring, and yet the system itself is experiencing the stress. So I just want to reiterate that we really want to do things that bring us into a whole brain state. The moment we feel stress, the moment we feel anxiety, the moment we feel the racing of the mind, do the whole brain. Once again, cross ankles, cross wrists, close the eyes, clasp the hands, deep breathe until you feel a shift. Once you do, come out and ground it in by holding your hands together or placing your hands on your heart, something that's meaningful for you, with the eyes open so that you're back in time and space. And hi Todd Medina. Todd just sent me a message about doing a show live with him tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Sounds good, Mr. Medina. Mark it on your calendars, everyone. Okay, so whole brain state. Now, in meditation, I was guided to come out of my meditation tonight to do this LoveStream because there is such quantum metadata coming in now, and I keep making notes, and I'm just going like, how do I share this metadata in English language? And so the guidance said just pop out and start doing these simple pieces to assist people. So I've shared the whole brain state thing a couple of times. If this LoveStream is helpful, please share. Please share with everyone so we can get everyone into a whole brain state. This is key. So, as you know, the gene keys I talk about all the time because Richard Rudd, who wrote the gene keys, did a very good job of helping us to understand how the human story is locked inside the genetics, and basically, if you know how to read it, you can figure out how to decode the genes so that we can consciously choose to accelerate this process. Now, another book that I've been sharing a lot lately, The 9 Waves of Creation by Carl Kalleman. So, if we want to short form all of these genes and the quick way through, there is one simple way. Mr. Kalleman speaks about it in this book. He talks about the deactivation of the hologram of good and evil. It's chapter 8, page 219, right there. So this wonderful book talks about this holographic reality that we're in, that in linear time began 16.4 billion years ago. And all 9 waves of creation, or all 9 holograms, came online in totality October 28, 2011 as a linear time coordinate. So there's a very good line in here which says, all 9 waves are now for the first time running in parallel, and how people experience reality and what actions they take fundamentally depends on which wave they are resonant with. Some people are in resonance with the 9th wave and may truly experience unity with the divine, all that is. Yay! Read by Unity Grace. So this thing about the hologram of good and evil, coming back to the gene keys, if you read any gene, what you start to realize is that this is all about polarity. As we know, it's all about duality. Now, we've really passed these tests. 2018 was really, the completion of the polarized self, and yet still, in meditation tonight, I was truly guided to jump out and really, what's the word? Emphasize is the word. Really guided to emphasize how significant it is more than ever to be aware of any polarized thinking going on within us. Because the miracle that we notice any polarized thoughts, we have the opportunity to collapse those thoughts inside of us. This is what the 35th gene shows. The 35th gene shows we have the opportunity to collapse duality, polarity within us, and that's a choice. So, mindful awareness of what is going on inside of us gives us the opportunity in every miracle to go, whoop, there's a polarized thought. Now, keeping in mind that thoughts, I like to say that we're swimming around in a sea of crocodile thought forms, or crocodiles, and they're snapping at us. And I also have been joking recently that the crocodiles have gummy bear teeth. So the crocodile teeth don't have the same kind of intensity to them. The thought forms don't have the intensity to them that they used to. but we may still be swimming around in that sea of thought forms that are polarized and have that dualistic nature. And we, as conscious, living, breathing, intelligent beings, have the choice when we see the polarized thoughts flowing through us to go, oh, there's one. I'm going to collapse that back, involute that back inside of myself. I'm just going to close my eyes. I'm going to do the whole brain state. I'm going to hold the polarities together, and I'm going to choose to collapse them in. Please, if this is helpful, share. Because it's very significant, because we are leading to the 60th gene, which I talk about often, which says, when the 60th seed ignites in multiple beings, the earth as we know it will crack, and all of the cells that make up the consciousness we call Gaia will move together into another reality. So, I believe, because I'm very optimistic that we can choose to do this together. We can accelerate this process together. So, of course, time doesn't exist, and still, we can be consciously involved in the process. So, here's a little piece of wording I was guided to in the 4th gene. So the 4th gene is about forgiveness, and it says right here, the final destiny of the 4th seed is to rupture the connection between the past and the future, between the black and the white, between the yin and the yang. This is in Richard Rudd's Gene Keys. Rupture the connection. So when I read that, I went, okay, so here's the deal. We are becoming sovereign beings upon the earth. And the guidance came in and went, why wouldn't black want to be sovereign? Why wouldn't white want to be sovereign? So if we're going to be sovereign, let's let black and white be sovereign in our own thought consciousness as well, and liberate black and white from being polarized. Because we are the ones who are doing the thinking. So this is all about playing with thought forms. This is how powerful we are to change our reality, is to change our thought forms by choice. So if we decide that we no longer need to polarize black and white, yin and yang, etc., it makes us very powerful co-creators of this reality by rupturing the connection between the opposites. See, it's all coded in the genes if we just play around with it. So the next time you're meditating or going about your day and you notice that you're thinking about good, bad, right, wrong, as Carl Kalman says, the deactivation of the hologram of good and evil basically means the deactivation of polarized thinking. And on the night of the new moon, the eve of the new moon and partial lunar eclipse that we just had, the guidance came in and said there was a polar event occurring. The polar event is us. The polar event is not a shift. The polar event is to collapse the opposites, neutralize them. So another really beautiful part that is part of this 4th gene of forgiveness, Richard says, the children that come into the world carrying this new sequence of mutations held in the 4th gene key will not be emotionally polarized. Their mental system will not riot throughout their lives. So we are also those new children, and we can consciously choose, because we are powerful conscious creators of our reality. And what a beautiful thing to say. The children that come into the world with this mutation will not be emotionally polarized. Who are the new children? Let's make the new children us. By making the choice. Once again, if you see polarized thinking inside of you, you have the power to collapse it, because it's a hologram. You have the power to ascend your consciousness to a higher vibration. You can meditate. You can also make the choice when you see polarity. We all can. And this is a very powerful piece of who we are and what we are able to do to participate consciously in this process. There's another really beautiful piece here in the 5015, which talks about the new children again, and it says, very soon there will be children born among us who carry the full mutation and who will spread it through the gene pool. These children will be different from us. They will not emotionally engage with us on victim levels, but will hold a high frequency that will, over time, transform the families into which they are born. We will consider their role more fully as we read on. So, let us be those children. Let us be the ones who are not emotionally engaged in duality, not emotionally engaged in victimizer consciousness. We have transcended a lot of these things, and yet still, why are we having this love stream? Because we are getting to a very refined place in our process together. And so I was guided to come on and share it, to say, mindful, mindful, mindful refinement. We are now the Renaissance artists. We are creating the greatest art ever, which is us. And so mindful of every little tidbit, every little crumb that we recognize in our consciousness that is polarized, or let's call it dualized. It is so much easier to take quantum leaps now just by collapsing in one more little refined piece when we see it in ourselves. And one little refined crumb could be the crumb to make the shift for all of life. That powerful. That's how powerful we are. So, and also another piece to share. So a lot of us in 2018, towards the culmination of that coordinate year, brought together metadata pieces of our journey on the planet, meaning all the puzzle pieces came together and everything made sense. Major acceleration, when a major puzzle piece comes into place, the consciousness again takes a quantum leap. So now that all those puzzle pieces are together, what was occurring in our meditations, which is why we have been mastering this, because we are mastering bringing in all 7 sacred bodies into the flesh, physical ascension. So what people may notice at times, or what the collective may notice, is the collective may truly feel like it's going crazy. And it's because of this intensified process of all the fine particulates coming together. And when they do, we want to remain masterful. We want to remain in whole brain state, because there is this miracle that happens where the consciousness goes, oh my God, this is it. This is the moment of jumping over the cliff. This is the moment that I am about to dissolve. It's not so much the consciousness, but it is personality in the blueprint. And so we want to stay on top of every little morsel, every little particle that is in our awareness that is polarized in some way. Polarized just means energized with a polarity state. Neutral is still. Neutral is the capacity to hold the opposites equal, such that they hit a still state, 0 point. So keep working, keep practicing. If you feel some days like you're going crazy, that's okay. Just stay in the process. Do not jump off the train for a second. Stay in the process. Keep collapsing everything in, miracle by miracle, anything that's triggered, anything that's polarized. And eventually the system starts to hum, attunement, like bees buzz. Bees don't fly, they actually levitate through that buzzing that they do. We are starting to hum, we're starting to turn on. We want to continue to monitor the mind and bless the mind, because this is a process of the dissolution of these states of the mind and the full flourishing of the heart, the solar plexus. We are mutating at the level of the solar plexus, as Richard talks about in the gene keys, in the 55th gene in particular. And so it is a metamorphic process from within. Just keep coaching the mind along, bring all that benevolence and all that love from the higher self, the higher nature in, to support the mind to say, it's okay, just relax. Everything is going great here, because it is. And have fun with it and keep going. And as part of the transmission, I shouldn't have to say that this at this point, but stay away from your television. Hopefully you've all got rid of your televisions like decades ago. Yes, stay away from any chaos observations. We are, epigenetics. It's our perception of reality, and we are the petri dish, and we are the perceiver, and we are at an incredible eclipse. The guidance is saying we're in an incredible eclipse miracle, because we are in the eclipse window, and we are made of the stars, and we are in an eclipse window right now, between the partial lunar and the solar that's coming. And so it's a very powerful time for all. So lots of balance, good water, clean healthy food, rest, and productivity. Create something. Create, be involved in a project, be involved with others, very important also, because we are the single-celled organisms turning into an amoeba. So make a project, create a project, involve others, be your best. I made a post about it earlier, like give all your gifts to the collective that you're working with. Be your best. Invite the best, no compromises, be each other's keeper, because that's really what, there's Ruthie Joy, little hearts going off. That's what really makes this process worth it right now, is to be involved with others on collaborative projects and give to something greater than ourselves. And then it all has meaning, and our purposes activate and light up, and we become magnetic at the center as teams, as pods, and we start to magnetize others towards what we're doing together, because now we are vehicles for higher creation. Let me just jump to the 4th gene. I think Richard even says something about it here. What does he say? Yes. He says, oh, yes, the 4th gene is about the mind. It's about, he says, the gift of understanding, which is part of the 4th gene, is the only answer that will satisfy a person's dissatisfaction, and it must come about through the exhaustion of your mind rather than any other way. When you look logically at all angles of any concept, you begin to realize that nothing can ultimately be proved logically, because logic can always be used to prove the opposite. When you finally see this, your whole being lightens, because you realize once and for all that the mind is of no use for resolving anything of real importance. The higher frequency of such understanding also brings with it the urge to be of service to the world. And you can use the mental alacrity of the 4th gift to follow the dictates of your higher self. See, right there. Basically what he means, get yourself into a higher frequency, get ourselves into a whole brain state so the higher self can come in. And he goes on to say that through seeing all sides of any mental construct, the gift of understanding sweeps aside the possibility of intolerance and uses its gift to create new roles or systems to bring positive change into the world. And so I just want to say a kudos to the amazing golden ones, the golden pod that is currently playing with me on the projects and helping to bring through these transmissions in a way that can be turned into little tidbits to help people accelerate their consciousness, and for us to bring family members in who maybe aren't totally on board yet with the shift, realizing what is going on. And so this amazing golden pod has been supporting and helping, and I'm so grateful because we are experiencing exactly what Richard is talking about here, and the magnetism coming towards our team for what we're doing right now is very profound because we are collaborating together as a team. And Richard goes on to say, these new children coming into the world will bring with them new formula, and through this fourth gift, undoubtedly it will lead to new technological breakthroughs that solve long-standing problems rather than create new ones. And what I would say is, we are the technological breakthrough. The technological breakthrough is called co-creation, collaboration, creativity, whole brain state, higher vibration, meditate, be good to each other, benevolence, no compromise, and what was that wonderful word that came through earlier? Oh, such a good one. I put it on my post on Facebook. Well, integrous is a good word, but I'll have to go back and look at the post. It's on the post there. We want to be the best we can be now and really enjoy this ride. We are the technology. The true technology is the technology of love. Co-creation and collaboration is where it's at. Anything that is coming from the place of the heart is cutting edge, and is the cutting edge of superabundance, and it is worth much more than gold. So, okay, so to sum up, whole brain state, which I talked about at the beginning, please share if this is helpful, and really, really know we are in this together. Nobody is going crazy in a bad way. And the energies are intensifying miracle by miracle on this cutting edge of our human metamorphosis. And so just continue to find those little particles of polarized thought within us and collapse them back into the center, because we are powerful, we are conscious co-creators, collaborators, and this is how powerful we are to ride the wave in perfection, which is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. Yay. All right, so I'm surrounded by a team of experts. They've been busy meditating. Okay. I love you, we love we, and we're having fun, aren't we? Mwah. Aloha. Thank you for tuning in.